Continuing from our previous segment, where we started with a fixed amount of money and ended up compounding it forwards to some uncertain amount at retirement. Perhaps it's better that you work your way backwards. Instead of compounding forwards, think of it in terms of discounting backwards. So rather than fixing a certain amount of money now, let us say you decide that you need 1 crore at retirement at age 65. Where we started with a fixed amount of money at age 20 or 29 and moved forward to receive some uncertain amount at retirement. Think of this a slightly different way. What if we, instead of compounding forwards, discounted backwards? Rather than fixing the amount now, suppose you fix the amount at retirement. Let's say, for example, that you needed 1 crore at retirement. Working backwards, how much should you save if you start at 20? How much should you save if you start at 29? Moreover, how much should you save if instead of putting money down just at 20, you also topped it up annually with 1,000 a month or 12,000 a year or something like that? Said differently, what you're thinking about is moving backwards in time, having a set goal out there in the future. One of the deep dives that accompanies our segment on discounting and compounding will show you how to work through the formal numbers. But the prescription basically runs something like this. Example 1B. A 20-year-old wanting 1 crore at age 65 and investing conservatively in FDs at 8% per year should, according to our calculations, invest about 3 lakhs in the beginning. This should make sense if you compare with the previous example 1, where you started out with 1 lakh and ended up with about 32 lakhs at age 65. Example 2B. That same 20-year-old wanting 1 crore at 65, but now willing to participate in mutual funds earning 12% per year, should invest less in the beginning, right? That amount is actually 60,980. If you recall from the previous example, a 100,000 rupee investment, a 1 lakh rupee investment, gave this investor over 1 crore. Example 3B. That same 20-year-old wanting 1 crore at 65, willing to invest in mutual funds, but now, in addition, willing to top up 12,000 per year, should invest even less than that 60,980. That individual should invest 38,410 in the beginning. And we could go on with these examples. There are many retirement plan calculators that let you play with various assumptions, depending upon your age, your income level, your saving potential, your risk-taking ability, your forecasts for inflation over your lifetime. These calculators assist you in devising a long-term saving plan tailored to your specific financial circumstances. I know it sounds boring, but I would urge that on some sleepless night, you actually play with these calculators to see what you can accomplish. Our financial advisors also can be consulted, and they will offer you some helpful suggestions. So, do or should people find this argument compelling and race into investing as early and as often as it's feasible for them? And why do some hesitate still? Think of how your psychology might work. When you're young, retirement is so far away, you have so many things to buy with your money, loans to pay, trips to make, items to consume and purchase. If you're working for a company, then your employer may offer matching contributions, such as you put in 5% of your salary and we will put in another 5 into a retirement account. Even with this carrot, young people are very reluctant to give up current consumption despite it being the smart thing to do. Your brain interferes in other ways too. When people see a gain from an investment, they are quick to take it in the fear that it might actually go away. What people do is take small gains sooner instead of waiting for larger gains later. Think about this for a moment. If you really do believe that in the long term, equities have the potential to generate greater returns for you, then shouldn't you curb your impatience and wait in order to perhaps achieve those larger gains at some future point, rather than running to take a gain as soon as you see it on a computer screen or wherever you do your trading from? But people are not good at waiting. But if you believe that equities in the long term have a great potential for appreciation, especially as their underlying businesses prosper, then waiting to take larger gains later should have some appeal, shouldn't it? But as we all know, many of us are not very good at waiting. Some people put too much weight on events that happen in the near future and too little weight on events that might happen far away in time. They are applying different discounting and different compounding rates to different time frames, are they not? People do some other financially irrational things as well. One example that comes to my mind is people who carry credit card debt, which they pay for at very high interest rates, while at the same time their saved money is sitting in fixed deposits at much lower interest rates. People make choices with finance all the time. Sometimes these choices are against their own interests. Sometimes these choices are not consistent. Sometimes they really work against your best intentions and you can't deny yourself the choices that you make. I tend to think of this as a bias in mental time travel. The key to smart investing is to think about what kind of time travel you are. Even if you are biased, you should learn to recognize what these biases are and let them work for you. Lastly, since we've been talking a lot about mental time travel, I want to offer you a somewhat flippant proof of why that might not actually be possible. Think for a moment of what would happen if you could really go back and forth in time on a time machine. Take that FD, which doubled in 9 years from 1 lakh to 2 lakhs with an 8% rate. With a time machine, you could go forward 9 years in time, take the 2 lakhs that it had grown to, come back to today in that same time machine, redeposit the 2 lakhs. You could keep repeating this time travel and generate for yourself infinitely large amounts of wealth. And then you could consume as much as you wish, knowing the time machine is going to replenish that pot of gold, because interest rates are positive. I hope you liked that quote about time travel. Thank you.